What's up, everybody? How's your Saturday afternoon going? Evening, early evening? How's everybody doing today? What a crazy day. Yesterday was my birthday. And again, I want to take a few minutes to say to everybody, and boy, have I had a lot of people reach out to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all of my birthday wishes and some gifts. And a friend of mine got me a gift with 2 tickets to a sold out concert last night down city at Middle Ages Brewery. Courtney and I went down and listened to Dark Hollow, and it was the grand opening for Middle Ages Brewery for their upstairs music venue. Man, it was outstanding. The place was beautiful. The music was great. Dark Hollow sounded incredible. Um, the venue, I just love the venue upstairs. The music and the sound, the acoustics was fantastic. Um, Isaac, the owner at Middle Ages, I inadvertently met him last night without realizing it. My buddy had told me to stop and go see him, and it was so busy. And I always feel funny about bothering anybody while they're working, so I didn't say hello to him and introduce myself. But I'm sure we'll have another time. But Courtney and I had a great time. We were dancing and boogieing. Matter of fact, we're both a little sore today from the boogieing. But it was a lot of fun. And what a beautiful day yesterday. So yesterday afternoon when I went live, it was fairly brief, and I wanted to do it earlier. Well, let's talk a little bit about yesterday. I look up. John Burrows writes, "I'm in a bar, can't hear you, but I'll watch in a bit." Thanks, John. So yesterday we went up. Courtney and I went up yesterday morning to the Salmon River Hatchery in Altmar, and yesterday was the last day that they were stripping steelhead eggs. And I had talked to Tom, who was the person in charge up there, and he invited me up. And it turns out when I get up there, he tells me that he's from down here on the southeast corner of the lake, Oneida Lake, that is, and that he's a huge walleye guy, and that he watches the show. And I was like, oh my God. And he was wonderful. And everybody up there, was very giving of their knowledge and information. And I got to go through, and I stripped eggs. I milked a couple fish and fertilized eggs. We were sorting them. It was really fascinating. And man, I had a good time. I had a real good time. And I said it the other day. It was so noisy in there that we wouldn't have been able to go live. But I said to him the other day yesterday when we were there, I said, the room that we were standing in, and it's not big. I mean, it's 20 by 20 maybe. That room produced and maintains and started from scratch $1 billion cold water fishery in Lake Ontario and in Lake Erie, because that hatchery supplies steelhead to the New York waters of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, along with Chinooks in the fall and cohos. It is a state-of-the-art facility that we as New Yorkers, so our Salmon River hatchery and our Constantia hatchery for walleyes are top shelf. And I say it all the time. We are blessed and fortunate here in New York State to have the fishing that we do. And it's because of our incredible fisheries biologists that make up the science part wing of the Department of Environmental Conservation here in New York State. So I could not have been happier. Could not have been happier. So that was a lot of fun. And boy, it was a beautiful day. I went and downloaded all the footage. Was going through all my GoPro footage, getting ready to start editing. And this piece yesterday will be a segment in an upcoming show. And it was a gorgeous day, and boy, it was bright, sunny skies, and you're like, man, it really feels like spring, and the birds chirping and all that stuff. It was just a great day. We came home, we had a little cake and celebration with the kids and some of their friends. And like I say, then Courtney and I went out to dinner and then out to the concert. And I kept Mama out late. We didn't get home till almost midnight, and I don't think she got up till almost noon today. Yeah. Took her out.
I'm missing a Crunch game because I'm dead to the world.
Yeah, I asked her if she wanted to go to the Crunch game tonight, and she's like, "Yeah, that was like 3 hours ago." And then we sat and watched a movie on the couch. And then she looks at me, she goes, if you don't want to go, we don't have to. And so.
Plus, you made me exercise yesterday.
Right, I made her exercise as well yesterday. So. All right, it's Saturday. So what does that mean, everybody? Let's do a quick. We got 26 people on watching us right now. Scott Duranda, Aaron Lussier, Don Terry, David Gould, Rick Menzel, Eric Wisniewski, Gary Walters. Aaron says, "Happy belated, sir. My 40th was March 7th." That's an awesome one, Aaron. Congratulations. John Burrows, yo. Hi from John and Linda in Florida, or John and Linda, Florida. That's what you're changing your name to, John? John, Florida. Hi, nice to meet you. I was talking to Don Birdie the other day, John, and he goes, "I don't think John's going to make it home for the Derby." I says, "I don't think if it was up to John, he'd be making it home at all. I think he would stay in Florida." David Gould, happy birthday late. Thank you very much. Rumble Seat, how you doing, buddy? Louis LaPlante says, "Good evening. Me and Mark got to Mike's Tackle Shop." Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about, Louis. I got you. You guys went and put something up or something. Eric Wisniewski, Dark Hollow kills it. Yes, Eric, I hadn't seen them in years, and they sounded great. Mark Costello, how you doing, buddy? Brian Hammond, what's up? I was talking to Brian earlier. I was talking to Brian earlier. Rick Menzel, the word is you look like John Travolta last night. Listen, Rick, I'm not going to say that I'm a great dancer because I'm not. Like Elaine Bennis in Seinfeld, where you're kind of, I just let things go and the music takes it where it's going to go. And for me, it's like, I'm a deadhead. I like a lot of music. I like a lot of different music, but I only listen to the Grateful Dead on purpose. When my wife's in the car and she gets tired of listening to it, we'll listen to other stations on Sirius. But musically, that's really all I listen to. And somebody would say, well, why? Because it makes me happy. I don't have to hear 5 notes of Jerry's guitar. And it's something about it just changes my mood. And last night, last night we got there. There was three bands. Courtney and I got there about middle of the evening. It was probably 8:30-ish by the time we got there. No, later. I'm being told. I'm doing it wrong. It was later than that. And the middle band was I'm ashamed of myself for not knowing. But anyway, we saw the second band about half of their set, and they were really funky, fast jazz fusion, kind of sounded like Fish. They did play a Dead song right at the end. Really high energy. You couldn't help but just bebopping along, And then Dark Hollow comes out and they get tuned up and they jump right into Shakedown Street. I mean, just dive right off the deep end into Shakedown and just wow, when Shakedown's usually a second set, I always think second set summer evening outdoor show, the air is hot and stinky and it's summer, man, and you're listening to the Dead, and that's usually where you'll hear late in the second set, Shakedown Street or an encore. These guys started right out with it, and I know it was a shortened set. They jumped right into it, and it felt like somebody punched me, but I was immediately going. I was like, yeah, and man, it was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Jeff Wooden, howdy. Keith Horns, back from Florida and dodging gators. Merlin, what's up, Wiz? Don Terry, have you posted the video of the hook sets you told me about at Tully's as we watched the SU game? No, I haven't, Don. Not yet. Carl Kapner, good evening. Chief Stone, happy wet and windy Saturday. Yeah. So yesterday was beautiful. I mean, you couldn't have asked for an better early spring day, just a spectacular day. I was supposed to go fishing this morning with Captain Todd Shelter. We were going to take the drift boat and go over to Mexico Point, and we were going to row the shoreline for brown trout. And we made the plan last minute, but he's like, no, I think the weather looks good. The wind direction's the right. We should be fine. Okay. And so I got up this morning at 4:30 and was out in the garage loading stuff in the truck by 5:15, 5:30, and I get a message from him, and he's like, as soon as I walked out the door, though, going to the garage this morning, it was blowing. It was already blowing. And now the direction makes a big difference up there, and this was an east wind, a little bit of north in it. You could have, from Mexico Point, you probably wouldn't have been able to sneak into the corner, down off Skinner and Rice and down in there. But in a powerboat, you could have. So anyways, he's like, we should probably wait and do it another day. Okay, great. So I came back inside. I'm already up. So I sat down on the couch and started flipping through social media, and the wind's howling. And I thought to myself, I wonder, now that it's an east wind and most of the lake was open, and we talked about that little ribbon of ice that was left over there from like Oneida Shores, Muskrat Bay, all the way across to Woodworth and that area on the North Shore, over by the east side of Big Bay, by the mosquito channels. Well, obviously that big east wind and waves out there in the lake broke that last of that ice up, and it's pretty much done now. But I started seeing the first big chunks that had broke free right at daylight, so 6:30 this morning, and it was still going when my wife got up, so that was noon. So for 6 hours, it came down the river in just sheets. So I'm assuming everything's gone now. So now we can go and put the boat back in. Mark Lacerdo, good evening. Richard DeMarchi, good evening. Tammy, hello from Tom and Tammy Barber. Mimi, hey, Matt, do you like Bob Dylan? I do like Dylan. I saw my first Dead show was in Rich Stadium in Buffalo, and it was Dylan, the Dead, and Tom Petty. That was an awesome show. That was July of 89. July of 89, 88, somewhere's in there, 90, maybe 90. Anyway, but there again, like Bob Dylan is not melodic enough for my sensibilities to listen to on a large basis. Dennis, you're jumping the gun. Dennis asked me what number was drawn. I'm going to tell you what number was drawn. Let's get right into that. But before we do, so tonight is, so today's Saturday. We're going to do the drawing. This week, we're giving away one of these new boards. And I'm giving away a half dozen B-Hammer tackle hammer rigs, the castable walleye worm harnesses. So we're going to get both of those and this one. How cool is that? How cool is that? Mr. Bob Hutt, friend of the channel, made these, donated these. Him and Don Terry both went together on these. That logo for Walleye Fest is photographic quality paper that's inlaid with clear epoxy resin over the top of it. You could hang this on the wall as a trophy, or you could use it every day to cut the cheese.
The back of it, not the front of it.
Did you hear what I said? To cut the cheese? Oh, funny. So this beautiful board, and it's one of 5, only one of 3 that look like this. The other ones, hold on. So this is the one we're giving away tonight. We have 3 of these total. So we're doing one a week. And we have 2 of these. They're just awesome. I mean, they really are just awesome. We have 2 of these. This one will be up next week. So this one tonight, half dozen hammer lures, hammer tackle hat, for a value of, God, $150. Easy. The winner is ticket number 301, and that is Mr. Ryan Coughlin. Now, when I looked this up in our file this morning, when the number was pulled, there was 2 Coughlin names right together, Casey and Ryan. Now, I went to high school with Casey Coughlin, so I'm assuming that Ryan is his son. So if anybody on here is a mutual friend of myself and Casey, let him know, let his son know. I have no idea how old his son is. Casey's older than I am, and I have a daughter in my 20s, so I mean his son could be a grown man. And either way, I have your email address, and I'll get a hold of you, and I'll get these mailed out. Mark Hoover, don't worry. I haven't forgot you. I just haven't got to the post office all week, but I will be going on Monday. So I'll get both of those out. Congratulations, Ryan Coughlin. If you're on, if you're anywhere near the computer, you or your father, and I guess I'm assuming that that's your father, that Casey's your dad, please reach out to me on any of my socials, through the Walleye Fest website, however you want. If not, if I don't hear from you by Monday, I'll send you an email and get the address to where to send it to. So congratulations. That's a pretty incredible treasure. We have some really cool one of a kind things that people are winning. And like that's something that's like, you guys are going to be the first to ever. I don't have one of these. I'm giving one away. I don't even have one, so that's how that hat we're going to give away from artist Mark Usick. That Walleye Fest hat is just incredible. The detail in that, outstanding. Brian Hammond says, looks great. He made one for me that I love. He's talking about Bob. About Bob. He does amazing work. Absolutely amazing work. Dennis Hook and Eyes says, "What was the number drawn?" The number was 301. Then he says, "Damn it, way off." Don Terry says, "Everything but the ice in front of my boat launch in south of the islands." I'm assuming there's still ice there. Rumble Seat says, "Nice boards." Yeah, they're gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful board. Chief Stone said, "If my math is correct, it's 42 days before the Derby." Yes, and it is coming fast. We still have vendor spoofs. Yeah. Vendor booths. Booths.
Booth space.
Booth space. We still have vendor booth space available. We have made Rumble Seat. You're going to like my answer to this. So Bob at Rumble Seat says, approximately when do you think the lake will be back to normal level? So what I'm going to do is like the great Karnak used to do. I predict May 5th, the day before the Derby. I don't know. Depends on how our spring goes.
Usually by opener, it's back up by May 1st.
Yeah, as of right this minute, they still have Codnoy open. And with this rain and stuff we're having, although it is 3 feet low right now, they still have everything wide open. So I don't know. I don't know. You know, I mean, navigational purposes, I know I don't know if they're required to bring it back up to a certain level by a certain date. I don't really know that.
They do it every April.
But I would think by the time they put the buoys back out that it would be that way.
Well, last year they didn't have the buoys out by opening weekend, but the water was up. I pay attention to all that.
Courtney says that last year the buoys weren't out by opening day, but that the river was back up. We have a pretty good gauge right here. You know, like I say, our steps go in steps, and you can gauge pretty good where your normal water level is through the summer, when it's higher, lower. And we're, like I say, we're down 3 feet right now, all of that. So we'll see. You know, we'll see when they decide to close it off and what the spring weather brings. You know, I don't know that I was expecting this today at all, really. Chief Stone, did you find volunteers for the measuring stations? We have some, yes. We have a list of volunteers going. Anybody out there, if you would like to volunteer, the kicker for volunteers is certainly for anybody volunteering to do a measuring station, you can't fish the Derby. That would be too much of a conflict. And everybody that has volunteered knows that so far and is okay with that. But we want to deliver the highest quality Derby product we possibly can to our customers. And that one of that is making sure we try to cover every base possible to ensure that everything's on the up and up. And so you couldn't really in good conscience have somebody measuring fish for an official Derby and also be a contestant in it. That would be a conflict of interest. Michelle Love, how are you? Good evening to you both as well. Tim Cook, when do the docks at Oneida Shores usually go back in? Right before opening weekend. The county's not terribly fast nor concerned with, making sure the docks are there early and stay late, as people will attest to in the fall. They usually pull them in the fall, sometime in October. And there's an awful lot of fishing still left in November and December these days with our weather patterns. So I don't know. I don't know that there's a firm date. when they put them back in. It's usually before opening weekend of walleye season. So now that it's a May 1st thing, I would think sometime the end of April. Rob H., good evening. George Parsons, thank you so much, George, for the birthday message on Facebook yesterday. It was very nice. Thank you. Just Paul, how you doing? You sent me a message about Lisa, but I only saw it briefly, and then good evening to you both from us. It's Just Paul. Yeah.
And Jonathan B. There's some.
Yeah. So let's see. I thought I had other things to talk about here. Yeah, like I say, we didn't get out fishing today. I was a little bummed. I was looking forward to it. If I had more confidence in that Lake Ontario shore bite, I would have went. I even thought about maybe going and casting from shore somewhere. I had thought about going down to maybe Fairhaven or something like that, casting off the pier or by where the pond dumps out. Tammy asked the question. She's wondering about shirts. I'm assuming you mean Walleye Fest shirts. We're working on the merchandise order. I don't know if we'll have merchandise for sale before the event starts, but we will have merchandise available for sale at the event. We will definitely have a merchandise tent at Walleye Fest. And remember, too, everybody that's bought their ticket already, it comes with a free pin, a free commemorative pin. And you have to come, just like the fine print said, you got to come to the show, to the festival, and pick up your pin because it would be way too many people to try and mail stuff out to. Sam Ortiz. That's funny. Sam Ortiz says, I was just talking about going and casting from shore. Sam Ortiz says, Sodas Point Pier, shiny Cleo, you'll do good, just saying. There you go. Sam's giving everybody a little heads up. Randy Gushlaw, good evening. Got over to Mike's shop today like a kid in a candy store. Yeah, I talked to Mike and Craig this morning via text message. I wasn't going to be home, but then all of a sudden I was home. So I watched their episode of the show they filmed last fall with Jason P., pro walleye fisherman, fishes the NWT, 2-time angler of the year. Jason's last name is a long list of letters that I don't know how it pronounces, so I'm not going to say it. His son's fishing the Bassmaster Classic. Jason's a pro walleye fisherman. His son Jay won the St. Lawrence River Elite Series BASS last summer, and is now fishing in the Bassmaster Classic. And this morning, and I watched the Bassmaster Classic live this morning for 3 or 4 hours, and his son was sitting in the top 10, 7th when I stopped watching, and I didn't see what the weigh-ins were this afternoon. The final. I'll probably actually go look at that after I get finished talking to you guys. I'm not a huge tournament fisherman, but I do. The Bassmaster Classic is like the Super Bowl of fishing. So even if you're not a bass fisherman or it's someplace you've never been, like I enjoy watching it. I enjoy this live deal today was pretty cool. I mean, it was right from the start of their day, and they had live cameras going around to all the different boats and guys that were in the top of the top 10 from the day before and so pretty cool. Sam Ortiz follows up his tip about going to the Sodas Point Pier by saying massive fish and they are aggressive. I'm assuming they're catching browns or one of the salmonoid or trout and salmonoid species right there. I can tell you I've only ever fished Sodas Sodus Bay once, and that was through the ice a couple of years ago. I'm hoping to get out there more this year. So I watched the show that Mike and Craig did with Jason this morning. And I met Jason when he was here last year filming that show. I was over to Mike's one evening, and I met him. Super nice guy, down to earth. He's the Minnesota version of all of us. We're the New York edition of, fishermen and hunters, and he's the Minnesota version. Larry Kelly, loving the Matt chat. Everything along the river looks chunky. Just watch the next bite with Mike. Good show. Can't wait to catch the winning fish on the grandbaby's frozen pole. My buddy Larry and his wife Michelle, they bought one of their grandkids a frozen cartoon fishing pole. And what'd they say the baby was, like 6 months old or something, a year old? Sounds like something I do to one of my grandkids whenever I have one. I have a lifetime fishing license right when they're born. Randy Gushlaw, can you recap the ticket price for adults and kids, and at what age it does adults start? Randy Gushlaw asked me to recap Walleye Fest. It's $25 per ticket. That $25 ticket includes your free yearly commemorative pin that used to be sold separately. It is $25, and anybody can get into the adult $25 division. Okay, doesn't matter what age you are. If you want to fish for the chance to win and be in the top 25 with cash prizes, then you buy an adult ticket for $25. If you don't, there is a kids division, which is 15 years or younger, because the moment you turn 16, you're no longer eligible because you have to buy a fishing license in New York State. So then that puts you into the adult division if you're 16 years of age. So 15 years or younger, 15 years and 390 days, you can still be in the youth division. That pays 10 places, but it's not going to be with cash. It is going to be with merchandise prizes. And we have some great ones cooking up for that, but that's $5 for kids 15 years and younger, okay? Michelle Love says her grandson Gavin wants to know how long it took to grow your beard that long. This is going on 7 years now. Just like Samson, he didn't let anybody cut off his hair either. Sam Ortiz is asking us, is the ice gone yet or breaking up yet? The ice has been gone over most of the lake for a couple weeks now. We have lost. I'm sure the lake's open now all the way out. We could get out. It's been coming down the river all day. Scott Tagada, hi Matt, how was your birthday? Hope it was good. It was awesome, Scott. Thanks, buddy, for asking. Tammy's asking for up to the minute. I know we're above 350. And yes, please keep sharing. We have a long way to go. We got to sell 10 times more tickets, more than that, still in 5 weeks. I don't doubt that we're going to do it, and we can do it, and we will do it. But we got to get moving. You asked me ticket numbers. Let me go on. I'm going to look. I'm on my phone right now. I'm going to look exactly. 352 we have sold so far. 352. Chris Bryant says, do you know what percentage of tickets were usually sold the last week before the tournament? Yes, about 80%. I just don't want to wait that long. That's all. I'm just trying to get everybody excited and motivated. And listen, when it's 33 degrees and the wind's blowing sideways and it was hailing and freezing rain this morning and I saw a car upside down on 81, I get nobody's thinking about going walleye fishing. I get it. and this is the first year as the promoter of this thing and taking this over and starting everything from scratch. So I get a little anxious and a little stressed. That's all. No big deal. I mean, I do have hair underneath here, what little is left. And I'm not saying that, this is going to make me pull it all out, but I guess it could. So if you want to help me avoid pulling my own hair out, just everybody buy tickets. Let's get over that 4,000 mark. Hit the mark we want to set. Let's just be done with the anxious moment part. Let's just go right into the fun. How about that? So that's Larry Kelly says, can you buy more than one ticket to get another pin, or will additional pins be available? You can buy as many tickets as you want, as long as each ticket has an individual name on it. But yes, we will have some additional pins available for purchase at the festival. So Mimi said, hey, Matt, the trolling motor, 3 major raffles at the end of the Derby. They keep people there and interested. Even they usually had 3 raffles at night at the end of the Derby to keep people there. Yes, we're working at, yes, sir. I don't have any more information other than, yes, I'm working on raffles for a lot of stuff. Yes. But Chris, to answer your question, the vast majority of ticket sales every year and all the records they showed me was in the last week to 10 days of the Derby. And everybody starts thinking about it. That's why I was booked on the morning show for 570 WSYR. That's going to be 419 taping. That's going to air that following weekend. So it'll be right before the Derby. It'll be the weekend before the Derby. Steve Featherstone, the writer from Syracuse.com, reached out to me yesterday and is going to do a piece hopefully sooner than later to get it out. We're going to film our TV commercials hopefully Monday. I've said that twice before, but I think this time we're actually ready to do it. So we got to get our advertising out there, but yeah. Larry Kelly, you going to sell your Gramps boat when you get your new one, or no? No, never sell Gramps boat. I'm going to take it apart and take the pieces off, and I'll sell the motor. I guess I'm actively trying to sell the motor now. I'll take the bracket off the back. It's a really nice bracket. I mean, somebody will need that or want to buy it, and then I'm going to cut a couple pieces of it apart for myself that I'll make like a little trophy or something out of that I can keep with me. But then I would take and cut the rest of the boat up and dispose of it at the dump properly and let it be done. I could never have somebody else running that boat after everything that I put into it, and it was his, and it was ours. So I'm gonna keep a couple little pieces of it for myself, and then you can't do a Viking funeral anymore, but Chris Bryan said, I figured we're talking about when people buy their Walleye Fest tickets. There's probably a good percentage of people who may travel here based on weather and fishability, so they wait till the last minute. I just think a lot of it is, most of us don't look that far ahead at things, so we kind of wait till the last minute. I'm trying to make it to where people plan in advance so I can plan in advance, but in this first year is is a big learning curve, and so that's all. I'm trying to. I know April's going to be crazy, and the sales are going to go through the roof, and in a month from now, we're all going to be sitting here, pretty close to Walleye Fest, going, "Wow, look where we were," the last weekend or the second to last weekend in March, because we still have 5 weekends, and a lot of stuff's going to happen. We still got to get through the trout opener, see if spring springs and stuff like that. So everything's going to be great. We're full steam ahead planning for a lot of people, and that's everything I do is planning for a big event, big production, big fun, just an outstanding time had by all. That's my goal. My goal is to give everybody a hell of a time. I want to thank you for a real good time. All right. Well, everybody, we've been for 40 minutes. I think we're good. If this weather breaks, and I see clear sky over there now, if this weather breaks, I'm going to go do something tomorrow. I'm not sure where or what, but we'll do something. And I'll let you guys know when we're going live, and we'll get at it again. Thanks, everybody, for joining me tonight. Everybody, remember, Ryan Coughlin, if you're listening to me, if you're hearing my voice, if somebody out there knows Ryan and Casey, get a hold of them. Tell them to get a hold of me with an address, and I'll send out your new board. All right, everybody. 4 more of these left. 4 more weeks. If you know anybody that wants to get in on these, the only way you can do it's with a ticket. Thank you. I don't ever say it, but if you like everything we do here, and we haven't even got back to full fishing content yet, if you like what we do here every day, you like what I do, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what's going on. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Boom. Keep your tip up.